Well, hi, hello, and a warm welcome to this week's video. Today I'm talking all things open studio, open house, artist open studio, artist open house, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you might like to open your studio as well. I'm about to open mine 10 days from now, 10 days and counting, so I'm doing all those last minute tasks, and so it seems pertinent to talk about open studio right now. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I got started with Open Studio and how that really launched my art business and why I think that can do wonders for you as well, especially if you are just starting out. And don't forget to stay right to the end because I'm going to share the biggest mistake I made back in the day when I first started doing Open Studio and how you can make sure to absolutely avoid doing that. My name is Sophie Mahir and I help artists to make a living from their art or creativity by building a stable, profitable business doing what they love every single day. Now, if you'd like more tips and tricks on how to build your profitable art business, or maybe you're just starting out, you're not quite sure what you should be doing first, then just stay right here because this channel's the perfect place to be. So I'm going to share tips and tricks and all sorts of pieces of information that are just right for you and your growing art business. Don't forget, if you love the content, give me a like, a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well so you get notified every single time I post a new video. All right, so here's a little bit about how I got started very first time I did Open Studio. So this was back in the UK when I first started my art career, and I had a little tiny house in a town that was outside of the big town. So those of you that know the UK, where I really wanted my open house or open studios was Brighton on the south coast, but we lived in a little tiny place called New Haven. And so I had a small house in a small street in a small town, but that didn't stop me. I opened it anyway. And I'll never forget the first day we opened the doors and my children were still this sort of height, helping height, and we stood on the steps and we beckoned for people to come in, literally walk us by. Hey, we've got open house. Yeah, you can come in and have a look. We've got art hanging on the walls. It was literally like that. It was raw, it was real. I opened the bottom part of my house and walked through to my little wood-built studio that was in the back garden. Now, what was great about this? I didn't have an audience. I didn't have a mailing list. God, there was no social media back in those days. And so I was really starting from scratch. And so as people came in and started to like what they saw, I got some feedback on my work. I got sales. I got people starting to follow me and wanting to come back for further exhibitions. And so it was definitely the way that I launched my career. I went on, of course, to put work in galleries, to do regular art fairs, very regular, 4 times a year, open studio. I did collated shows, solo shows, and I had an art agent. But really it all started from opening up my house and doing Artist Open Studio. I went on to become a trail leader and part of the Brighton Festival Trail as well. And now press the fast forward button on about 12, 13 years, I think it is. I'm re-establishing my art career here in Australia, literally turning everything on its head. And this is my very first open studio here. I'm not known here. So it's kind of, we're walking the same path, but we're walking it with a lot more knowledge. And that's what I want you to have as well. So let's break down those 7 reasons why you, like myself, might want to open up your artist studio. Now you might say to me, Sophie, I work out of the edge of my kitchen table. I'm going to say to you, that doesn't matter. Have you got kitchen walls? Have you got lounge walls? Could you clear a bit of space and hang some work? You don't need to have a big fancy schmancy studio to open up. You just need a space that you can clear and clean and let the public in to have a look. I was very, very lucky when I opened up. I had my own little studio. This time I'm sitting in my little studio. It's very, very tiny. So really I'm opening up the bottom of the house. So what are the reasons? These 7 reasons. Let's go ahead and dive straight in. Now, obviously, number 1 is exactly what I said. It's the perfect way to launch either yourself as an artist or perhaps a new collection. Maybe you've just gathered together a collection of, I don't know, 10 or 20 works, and you're thinking, not really quite sure how to get these seen. Well, opening up your studio, you have no time constraints. You don't need to wait for available hire for somewhere, you can just pick the weekend that works for you. Maybe do it for one day, maybe do it Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday. You decide, you control when you open up your studio. It's one of the core benefits, of course, of doing something like that. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is, especially if you're starting out, getting feedback is crucial. And I like to get feedback where I haven't spent an awful lot of money. So no big art fair, no big exhibition, gallery hire. That can be quite challenging. So the first steps towards getting feedback on perhaps your new work, or if you're, say, launching for the very first time, open up your space and talk to people. Ask them, what do they think? Look at their expressions as they're looking at it. Listen to the conversation they have where they're discussing it. But not only that, they get to meet you and ask you about your work. So talk about it. Ask them, hey, do you like the color palette? Do you like what I'm doing? Like, would you hang this in your home? Is this something you would purchase? And get some honest, open feedback, because if there's some things that you need to tweak and work on, this is the best way to do it. Now listen, it might take a little bit of confidence to ask for feedback, but I can promise you it's going to be the best thing that you ever do. Get that feedback, take it on board, work and improve your art, and then you can look at hiring a gallery or finding a gallery or putting it out in whatever way is going to suit you best. So that's the second reason why we might want to do Artists Open Studio. So reason number three is a relatively low cost, right? Okay, there's still some costs. Well, you could do it from zero, but you have to do a fantastic job at marketing. So likely there's going to be some costs. To be honest, the best way if you are starting out is to join an art trail. And that's where your cost will be, going into the trail brochure. But the trail brochure is going to go out to thousands of places. Now that's not to say that you mustn't do your own marketing as well. Look out for next week's video where I'm going to share with you 5 ways to market your open studio. But getting in a brochure is a brilliant start, right? And then you can add to it from the marketing from there. But you're not hiring a great big venue. You haven't got big catering costs. You haven't got outside advertising costs. You can keep the whole thing to a real minimum. All right, reason number 4, you could decide to invite in some guest artists and share it. That means you're going to share the cost, so you can keep the cost even lower. You're going to share the work. You're going to get to know some other artists. Maybe there's a few people you think, oh, I'd really like to hang out with them, or their work really complements. Now, what I very often do is I'll have, not a painter, so I'll have, this time I've got a fantastic glass jeweler. She blows her own lampwork glass beads and makes the most incredible jewelry, home decor. So if you follow my Instagram, you will see Jenny's beautiful work on there. I'll make sure to put a link to her Instagram account below as well. So it's really complimentary. So some people are going to come, they're going to look at the artwork, the colors on the walls. She's picked out some of those colors and made some jewelry pieces to specifically go in my paintings. What a lucky lady I am. So I used to, back in the day, find ceramicists, sculptors, weavers, other people that would really complement my work. Yeah, I did have other painters, but they painted completely different. And so there was a real mix of beautiful things. Your audience is going to love coming to an open studio that's got more than one artist, because especially if they're looking at a trail brochure and they've got to choose where to go, likely, unless they know you already, if they see a house that's got multiple artists in, they're going to go there. So you're likely going to get slightly more visitors, especially if you are just new to this whole thing. All right, reason number 5, you need to grow a mailing list, right? I talk about this on my channel. I talk about it all over the place. Growing your artist mailing list is your business. It's core to everything that you do. And doing an open studio is a great way to do it. What will I be doing this time around? I'll be doing winner print. All right, so I will have a limited print that is of my core piece that I've put up. It's on the posters, it's the main piece that's being advertised. And there'll be a print that's available to win. And in order to win, you need to leave your name and email address and permission to be added to my mailing list. All right, it's pretty basic stuff, it's pretty easy. And yet you've manually got to put the names on at the end, but you've got people's permission, and one lucky person's gonna win your work as well. All right, reason number 6, you're going to make sales. Well, we hope you're going to make sales anyway. That's a really great reason. You want to make the money back on what you used to put on the show, but ideally you want to make some sales too. It's going to boost your confidence. It's going to enable you to really work out what's popular and what's not so popular. And you know what? You are also growing an art business. So sales is crucial. And the best piece I really like about this, zero commission. So, keeping everything in-house. Yeah, you've got to open up your house. There's some logistics to that as well. And I teach that in other places other than here. But, it's pretty simple to do. At the last minute, there's an awful lot of things, but that's the same on any show. So making sales with zero commission is brilliant when you're just starting out. And number 7, sometimes my favorite, it's a great way to clear out old work. You can't do that in a gallery setting, all right? You can't do that in a big show or an art fair or something like that, but you can do it from your open studio. So one of the annual shows I used to do back in the UK would always be a sale. We would have a January sale open studio where myself and my other artists all had work that was on sale. People knew they could come and get a bargain. Now, they might not get the piece they really wanted because maybe that's sold, right? But maybe they can get things that are 1, 2, 3, 4 years older and sort of odd pieces left from collections. And I will have a little bargain corner here as well. I think it's vital. So it's really, really exciting. There are 7 great reasons why you should open up your studio and start planning it today. So that's my challenge for you. If you've listened to this and you are in a part of the world where you can do a physical open studio, and if you're still in lockdown, listen, you can still do a virtual one. I've got some other videos that I'll link below that walk you through how to do this, but just in a virtual capacity. Listen, we're going to be doing some lives and virtual tours and this sort of thing from the studio as well. But once lockdown is over and we're in a position where everyone can do it, let me know in the comments below if A, you think it's something you want to do, and B, when you're committed to doing it. Because of course, I love to hear that, yes, you've been inspired, it sounds okay, it sounds easy, I'm starting out, this is what I'm going to do. So don't forget to let me know in the comments. Now, last but not least, that biggest mistake, the thing that, oh my goodness me, and I look back now and it sort of fades, but at the time it was pretty big. I didn't have a lot of confidence when I was starting out. Can you relate? I kept thinking, oh, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year. I'm still working. I'm still teaching. It's okay. I'll do it the next year. And I waited and waited and waited till I felt like I had enough work or it was good enough to open the doors. And in hindsight, I should have just done it like way earlier. I would have got the feedback. I would have been able to improve and perhaps the journey would have been a little bit faster. And I want to make sure that you don't make that mistake. So don't wait for the perfect work. Don't wait for the perfect time, the moment where you think you've just got enough. The moment you've got 10 pieces, grab yourself a guest artist and open up your studio. Don't wait like I did. It's a whopper. It just delays everything and you don't really want that. And not only that, you're just building on work that you're not really sure about, right? Get those first pieces and get them out there. I know people are going to ask me what's the minimum to open up with? I would say 10, depends on your studio space. And then get in somebody that complements your work and go for it. You don't have to be part of a trail. You can open up independently. I've done that myself many, many times. You've got to do a lot of marketing, but don't worry, we've got you covered here on the channel. As I say, next week, the video is all about how to market your open studios specifically, so look out for that video. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you feel a little bit inspired to open your doors. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram where I'm sharing my 10-day countdown of everything I'm doing in order to get ready for my open studios. All right. Take care and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.